Guys, how's it? So tonight what I'm busy with is just drilling out a fuel rail for our 1JZ drift car. I just wanted to show you, a lot of times I find guys really taking a drill bit to the fuel rail and messing it up badly. And you know, when you're building something, you don't want issues like that with O-rings and fuel leaking onto your engine. So let me show you the way I do it. Guys, so we've got a standard fuel rail, standard 1J injector that fits in nicely there. So obviously that fits in, snugs nice, pushes down all the way to the bottom. So now we have a problem once we go and fit 1000cc bosch injectors. And even if you take the O-ring off of there, put a little spacer on that, it does go in slightly, but it doesn't push in all the way. And it doesn't have a nice seal, so you could force it in there, but you can see it's not a very nice seal even with the second O-ring. And the thing is, you need to get a little bit, you need to get it in more, because this injector is a little bit longer, and by it being a little bit longer, let me see if I can give you a comparison. Alrighty, so that's basically what you got. That's where the injector sits. So this little rubber sits there. So you need to still get this to push in all the way to the bottom where that one lines up. So let me show you what I do to get this done the right way. Because if this is not done and you do line it up, then what happens is you got a little bolt at the bottom that sits there. Let me explain like this. So where it should be lining up, you know, then you got something sitting a little bit skew. You have to put the bolt in, sits like this. Then you'll have to bolt the whole rail skew to the side, and then it just could cause a leak at the end of the day. So let me show you what I do. Okay, so let's walk over here. So I've got a lathe and a milling machine, which is nice to have. Not everybody has that, but you can also use a drill press. But the only issue is when you look at your fuel rail, this one's been machined already, but your fuel rail will look something like that. Okie dokes. And then it's very difficult to clamp this in a level space, or to clamp it so this faces up and you can then obviously drill it. So now to get it machined, or just to get this sides, there's a little one that side, 90 and a 90 to this. So if you do have a little piece of square tubing, a 20 by 20, that will actually sit on top of that very nicely. I don't, I've got only a 25, so I had to take a little notch out. So then, as you can see there, if I put that down, then I can obviously put it on my belt sander and get a nice flat surface on that side and see what that looks like. So that's where that little surface comes from. So that will obviously drag the whole way through. And then to turn it around, you get the other side. Oh, just hang on. Yeah, so what we'll do is just move that forward a little bit. This comes off, goes in there. So now what happens, I've just lifted these little machine inserts off of the base, so obviously they're a little bit higher, and then I can, if I hold it for you like that, then I can obviously, in between this space here, if you can see that, so all the way from there all the way to there, get that flat. Okie dokes. So now I've got something that I can clamp. You see, so once that sits there, now I can basically clamp this down nice and flat. Okie dokes. So I've drilled all of them already, and I want to show you. I'm going to set up with the last one, and then I'll drill that, and then once I've drilled it, I basically take a vernier and just to measure the depth of each of them up to 5 millimeters. That's what you need. So, and one last thing once that's done, so I've got one last one to do there, but just to show you the difference, what that looks like versus that. So you just need that little opening. So then this injector sits very nicely all the way down. Let's see, there's one that I reamed. There's one last bit that you still need to do. So if I can get you a nice shot of that, then that sits in all the way nice and deep, and you've got the standard fuel rail bolted on with your 1000cc injectors, and that sits nicely, nice and tight, nice seal. The last little thing that you need to do, what did I do? You'll see there's a little sharp edge right in there, and you just need to ream that down. I've got one of these little reamers that I just put on the normal drill, and we just drill it. That's not the right one. Let me see, there's a good, the right one for that. Found it already in the drill. Yeah, so one of those, and then basically that fits in, and we just ream it just so the O-ring just starts sliding in and doesn't catch. So yeah, hopefully that shows you or helps some guys out how to get that standard fuel rail fitted professionally.